All right. Hugh Freeze confirms that the Monday morning rumors are true. Damari Alston, no longer a part of the Auburn football team.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into this special live edition of Locked On Auburn. I'm your host, Zach Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day, or for today, your second listen. Rumors swirling this morning that Damari Alston no longer with the football program, and Hugh Freeze at his weekly Monday presser confirmed every bit of that. So Auburn down a team captain. Let's talk about the Damari stuff from two different angles. Let's talk about what it could mean, both optically and maybe signs of future things, and we'll also talk about what it means on the football field. I think one of those is way bigger than the other. As far as what this could mean, like optically, it's terrible. You're down. I mean, the rest of the college football world is poking at you. It's almost pity. There's almost pity, and we're getting pity from other fan bases that I don't want pity from because of the whole refereeing and all of that stuff. Like, oh man, Auburn's down bad. And then Damari Alston, one of the more liked players in the locker room, one of the fan favorites, comes out and quits. So you can look at a few of these things. Like Saturday's game was his fourth game of the season. And so you can assume that the timing when it comes to him redshirting had to play a factor in this. And so this is a combination of reading in between the lines and talking to people. But I mean, it sounds like a big part of this was maybe Damari asked for a redshirt, and Hugh Freeze said no thanks. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like to me. You heard about this a little bit from some players at the end of the Brian Harsin era. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I get both sides. I get both sides. I can understand how, assuming that's what happened, and that's what I've heard from two different people, is I get why Hugh Freeze would react that way. And I also get why Damari Alston, you're running out of eligibility and you've been so patient. Why do you want to burn this year when you don't have to if you're getting 2 touches per game? Like, I get it. I get both sides of this. But what this really means is you've got a captain that isn't like the level of buy-in from your captain, I don't think is ideal. I also think that he's probably not the only one. We've talked about like the level of frustration. Usually when I'm asked that question about the frustration within the locker room, it's defense versus offense because the defense is so good. The offense, I don't know how there's not an extreme level of frustration, and just the odds of everyone handling it well, I think are pretty low. And so was Damari part of that? I can't imagine Malcolm Simmons is stoked right now. I can't imagine even Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton are particularly stoked right now. So we'll see. A lot of people are now speculating and responding to this news saying like, oh, I bet Damari's not the only one. You're probably right. I would not be shocked if that happened. The way Hugh Freeze was asked about it, it was the first question once he got done talking about Georgia, which I'll probably do more on tomorrow's pod because there was so much in that short press conference. There's so much. I mean, the way he answered the multiple questions about Damari, it was almost with disgust. Clearly not a fan currently of Damari Alston, which is a shame. But I just think it's amazing. And I shared some of this on socials this morning when the rumors were going on. We're like, y'all remember that video after Baylor? It was so well done. And like the vibes when it was posted were euphoric. Connor Lewis getting his press conference after the Baylor game. And then Damari's walking by and he's like, 3 things: taxes, death, Auburn's going to run the football. We're like, yeah, Damari, let's go. Auburn's posting that. They're making graphics out of it. It was great because Auburn just ran over Baylor. And it's like, cool. We got some identity going on. And since then, it's like, was that from this year? Was that from this season? Because goodness gracious, since then, it's like, oh, can we get anything going? So I don't know. It's just so frustrating. I wish Damari nothing but the best. It's impossible not to speculate. I mean, JG Tate, I think it was JG, asked a follow-up question on Damari. Is like, is he gone? Is he gone? Or is this a situation where, if Hugh Freeze is gone, could Damari come back? I mean, Damari's been patient. Damari's been extremely, extremely patient. So I'm curious to see. If Freeze were to be let go, would Damari stick around? I don't know. We'll see. As far as the football aspect of this, are you better with him than without him? Like, yeah, you're better with him. It's an extremely thin position already because Darrell Robinson is out. But Hugh Freeze is like, next man up. Omar Mabson's going to be ready. Alvin Henderson, which is great. That's fine. But I'm just, it looks terrible. And in a situation where like everything you do seems to be bad, they've apparently already taken them off like the official roster too. They did not waste any time. On this. So I think that's telling on how Hugh Freeze feels about him. And so once again, the way that was worded was Hugh Freeze said that Damari Alston did not like reach the expectations of the program, which what even is that at this point? As far as the football stuff, like I think Jeremiah Cobb can handle the 11 touches that you will give running backs against Missouri. So like, I'm not concerned about that. But it's not a good look when your captain, who I'm sure had some sway in the locker room, does that, but we'll see. There are other things that there's something else interesting he said about the Darrell Robinson stuff, and I'll answer your questions, guys, about Damari. Seems like a lot of people are jumping in here like, and this is a shock. So we'll circle back just a little bit on some of that as well. All that coming up right here on the special live edition of Locked on Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Peloton. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with a brand new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. It's training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools to help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. I love the flexibility of it. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton cross-training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Square. Square is your favorite neighborhood spot runs on Square. There are certain businesses that make the neighborhood. These are places that become an extension of home, whether it's a sports bar dedicated to, cheering on the Tigers. It doesn't matter what it is. These businesses are what brings people together. When the neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million small businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. Square, see you in the neighborhood. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on a Monday afternoon when the program that we all know and love continues to just be a fascinating watch. So obviously the Damari stuff in the short term is a big deal because Darrell Robinson, your running back that you got in the portal from UConn, is recovering from a fluke, so unlucky injury that he suffered from earlier in the year. And so of course that's going to put more on Jeremiah Cobb. It's going to put more on Omar Mabson. Maybe we get to see Alvin Henderson, which I've heard nothing about. So that'd be fun. Big fan of Alvin. So we'll see what that looks like. As far as other things that he was asked, so a reasonable follow-up question, and someone asked it. was about, okay, how is Darrell's recovery going? What's that timeline look like? And I just want to remember or remind everyone, last Monday, he was asked about the health timeline of Horatio Fields, and he didn't know. He's like, yeah, it's like 6 to 8 weeks. We're in week 2, but I don't know if that's like till he can practice or till he can play or till he's like off crutches. I'm not really sure. And so now he's asked about Darrell Robinson. And so I perked up a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to get an answer here. We're going to get an answer here. And he's like, Darrell's running. We're like, first off, that's great news for Darrell Robinson. That's fantastic. And then he's like, yeah, I need to ask the medical staff about him. How do you not know? You lose your running back 2 and your team captain, and your first thought isn't to be like, I wonder how Darrell Robinson's doing? How do you not know that? Am I crazy for this? Y'all let me know in the live chat. There's over 900 of y'all in here right now. Am I crazy? Am I crazy for that? For him to be like, yeah, I need to ask the medical staff about Darrell Robinson's recovery at a position group where you're running out of guys. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, okay. All right, sounds like y'all are agreeing. That's good. Glad I'm not a crazy person here. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I mean, I hate it for Damari, and what Hugh Freeze said, he's like, he said he loved him and all that stuff, but it's like, yeah, that's did not meet the standard of the Auburn football program. Stinks. It stinks. As far as what's next, like I can't imagine it changes the game plan that much. I mean, I kind of made a sarcastic remark about it a second ago, but like if you're going to just give it to running backs like 15 times or less, like Jeremiah Cobb can handle it. If you want to give Omar a few, that's fine. Run Jackson Arnold more. I've been begging for that. You could continue to do that too. But like Hugh Freeze, he was pushed by the media more in the post-game presser after Georgia and more earlier today than we've ever seen him. And you can tell he's uncomfortable. You can tell he's uncomfortable. And I'm not going to get into the opening statement stuff a ton because Damari's the story, and that's what we're going to talk about in this show. And we'll talk more about the opening statement stuff with Kyle tomorrow, Charlie 5, on tomorrow morning's Locked On Auburn. But one thing I do want to talk about is he was asked about adversity, and he was asked about, getting over the hump, and he keeps saying that they're close. But he said, like, adversity reveals who you are, and our guys are fighting. We're going to teach them that, like, we're going to be fighters through this. And I don't think it crossed his brain once. And I'm like, no, there's a chance, Freeze, that adversity is revealing like who you are. Like we're talking about the players at this presser, and he's like kind of trying to take responsibility. But at some point, like the head coach, when his team gets punched in the mouth over and over and over again, you've got to punch back. These last few weeks, he seemed different. Like I have a hard time buying that he's like 100% in. I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to be honest with you. Oh my goodness. All right. I'll stay live for a few more minutes. Anybody have any questions for the folks just hopping in? Hugh Freeze just wrapped up his presser. He said several different things. The biggest thing that we're talking about today, Damari Alston failed to meet the standards of the Auburn football program, so he is no longer with the team. He asked about a follow-up question, a few questions into the media asking, and he's like, is he gone? And he's like, oh yeah, he's gone. He's not going to play for us. So there you go. And once again, like, I think this is a situation that we're going to be limited with who we can see. Damari was in a rare instance where he could still be redshirted and not lose any eligibility because he missed some time and this was his fourth game. And so Damari's doing what he thinks best for him. And like I said, I get both sides to this. I get Damari saying like, hey, it's my dream to play college football and I'm going to play college football for as long as I can. And if you're not going to use me, like whatever. I get all of that. I'm not blaming Damari at all. But I also have a hard time blaming Freeze if a player comes to my office that's a captain and asks that question. Like I don't think either side is like crazy wrong on this. I'm just going to be honest. I know not everybody's going to like that. But if your team captain comes up to you and says, hey, I want a red shirt, even though I could play the rest of the year, like what's Freeze supposed to do? So I get both sides. I don't blame Damari. I don't blame Hugh Freeze. But there you go. There you go. All right, questions. I've seen a few. Cobb is light years better. I at most things, I agree. I mean, if we're going to pass block on 3rd and long, I don't really know what we're going to do in that situation, but I mean, whatever, whatever. Blake asked if another player was to leave, who do you think would be? Gosh, that's so tricky. I'm doing this solely off of football. I can't imagine Malcolm is stoked with how things are going. But I'm assuming Malcolm has played in more than 4 games. And so I'm wondering like how like that matters. Because there's no reason just to leave at this point if you're going to lose the rest of your eligibility. I'm confirming that Malcolm has played because I know he missed one. Yeah, Malcolm's played in oh, okay. He's played in 6 games this year. I thought he missed one for some reason. So like I don't think it really makes sense. These are the folks who have played in 4 games. Bryce Kane, Damari Alston, Horatio Fields. Horatio Fields is interesting. Omar's played in 2. Cale Ellis has played in 2. Ryan G's played in 2. Darrell Robinson's played in 2. And then everybody else who's played in 1 is just kind of like, reserve guys. So take that for what it's worth. I really thought Malcolm missed a game. Let me double check. Okay, PFF has him playing for 1 snap against South Alabama. I don't think that's right. But still, it's over 4, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Damari has Stewart asked, Damari has not been good though, Zach. Yeah, I'm not saying that he has been. I mean, he looked good against Baylor, but yeah, I don't know what the point is to that, but sure. Yeah, he was not effective running the ball. Damari leaving, I don't think is about football. Like I don't think it's about on-field stuff. I think it's a larger like question of culture that we're also frustrated with when your team captain is leaving. So that either means you've instilled a culture where your captain doesn't want to lead anymore, or you have a culture where you pick the wrong captains. Either way, it's bad. As far